Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome aboard the Here's to Us, and today's episode of What Yacht to Do, I'm going to be showing you how to clean out your air conditioner strainers and your shower sump. It's a nasty process, but it's got to be done. So on the Here's to Us, which is a 504 cockpit motor yacht, and you can see a tour of it on our website as well. But what we have on board is 5 air conditioning units, and they're broken up into 2 systems. The 2 upstairs go through 1 pump and 1 system, and the 3 downstairs go through 1 pump and 1 system. And we'll see that as we go through the process. So I use a bucket such as this. It's kind of compact. I guess it's about 2 gallons. We'll take also a rag or a cloth, microcloth. Also we'll have a screwdriver. And that screwdriver I'm going to use for not only trying to use it as a lever to loosen the wing nuts, but also on the shower sump there are 4 Phillips screws. We use the pliers in case one of those wing nuts is a little too tight, which happens sometimes. That will help us get that loose. And then an assortment of brushes. We've got a regular scrubbing brush here that we're going to use. See how effective that is. We have a toothbrush, an old toothbrush. And then we have this little wire brush, combination wire brush and bristle, that will be helpful for getting some of that debris out of the strainer. Also, this is going to be useful for cleaning the shower sump. It's simple green marine version. You can get it at any store. And then also the Clorox brand of spa brominating tablets or bromide tablets. We're going to drop one of those into each strainer as we clean it. And then of course the handy shop vac. I think for this boat, space is always a premium on a boat. You can get a 5-gallon one, but the 2.5-gallon one works just great for simple chores like this. So that's all you need to get started. First thing that we'll do is we'll shut off each individual air conditioner unit. Make sure that they are completely off on the boat. Then we're going to go to the AC control panel. We're going to shut off the water pumps and each individual air conditioning unit. On the Here's to Us, we have 2 pumps and 5 air conditioners. Next, we're going to access the compartment where they are. We'll take that cover off. This is the compartment that contains the 2 pumps, the seacocks, and the shower sump. We're going to be working completely in this particular area today. You can see the 2 pumps, the shower sump, and also the seacocks. Now I've taken that handle and I've rotated it 90 degrees. You can see that yellow handle is 90 degrees. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble the strainers. And I take those off, and the next thing that you'll see we'll be pulling that cover off, and there is where the strainer basket is. We'll pull that strainer basket out. Right there it is. Now this one is really clean because it's the upper 2 air conditioners. So what we're going to do is drop a bromide tablet in there. We hardly use those air conditioners, so there's no need to clean that one. But we'll put a bromide tablet in there, and that will help kind of clean out some of the piping that's in there. Oh, now look at this one. This is the one that we use. I'm actually embarrassed because I don't remember the last time I cleaned this one out. And so that's something that you want to prevent is this. And I started noticing that the air conditioners weren't being as efficient, and that was a clue that, hey, we need to do this. So we're going to take that nasty looking thing out of there and stick it into a bucket. And then we're going to take it outside the boat and we're going to start hosing that off, dumping it out, see what's in there. And this is going to be quite the process because this one is really clogged. So we have a hose and we're going to be hosing that off to see what exactly is in there. And you will find out that if you don't do it very often, these little sea animals or whatever they are, it looks like hair that is in there, and it is going to be nasty to get out of there. So to do these on a regular basis based on how much you use your air conditioners is really important. So I had a really tough time getting this out, and I used a couple different brushes. I thought that perhaps going around the outside of this would loosen those. They were kind of like hairs that were in there. They weren't really, human hair, but it looked like they were hairy, some kind of algae that had grown in there, and it was really clogging things up. So this brush wasn't real effective. Next thing I did was kind of hose this out and see that I got all the dirt out, but I still had those little tiny hairs that were clinging to the inside of this strainer. So next is, I said, I know the perfect brush for that is a little wire brush. And I think it's kind of used for cleaning electrical connectors, but I got that down there and I was able to twirl it around and kind of clean that baby out and got it nice and clean. Put that back in, tighten it up, and the next thing is to make sure that we're going to turn the seacocks back on so that the water is going to flow. The raw water will flow from those into the pumps. So we'll turn on the seacocks, open the seacocks as we do. That's what it looks like when they're open. They're in line with the pipe. And then the next thing is, I noticed while I was down there is, ooh, this shower sump looks nasty too. I hadn't been in there for a while as well. So that's what the shower sump looks like, and it is nasty looking. So we're going to take that apart and kind of clean it out. First thing is to take that strainer out of there, and you've got to kind of squeeze it to get it out of there, stick it in the bucket, and then we'll take that upstairs as well and hose that out on the dock. That's what the basket looks like, and we're going to vacuum that out with the shop vac. Get as much out as we can, and this is going to be a series of vacuuming out, and then we're going to use some simple green. Once we get most of this out here, I'm going to spray that, let it sit for a while, and we'll spray the simple green in there and repeat the process. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I really don't have to add any water. The simple green will kind of loosen it up, and I'm using the toothbrush here to kind of get in the nooks and crannies. Just get all around there with that toothbrush. And of course, use a used toothbrush. You wouldn't want to use a new one. Getting that all out there, loosened up, and we'll vacuum that out again. Put a little more simple green in there, and eventually this thing will look clean. Now the next thing I do is I'll take a rag in there and wipe in there and try to wipe it out as best as I can, and then we will go ahead and take that strainer basket and we're going to wash that out real good. Now when I put this in here, I illustrate this to show you that this is the wrong way to put it in, and it could be done. You think, oh, I'm done, I'll stick it in there, we're good to go. And what's happening here is that float switch, you can see I have water coming in from the shower, and guess what? That basket was touching it. So now I've turned that basket just 90 degrees to the right so that that float switch will clear it. And we're watching now the water coming in. The float switch is going to go up, and then the pump will go on. So that float switch right there that I'm pointing to has to have some clearance from that basket so it can come up and down. Very important to do, and you really want to make sure you give this a couple good cycles and make sure that that float switch is going to there. Otherwise you're going to have water coming out of that basket and going into your bilge. So right there, you want to make sure you have good clearance between the edge of the float switch and the basket. And that's pretty much all there is to do it. Now that we're sure that it's ready to go, we'll stick that top back on, put the 4 screws in there, and we're done with the process. Last thing to do is turn our switches back on. We got the pump and we got the air conditioner switches that we're going to use in the lower unit. And we'll turn it back on, and we see that the ambient temperature is 87. Right now it's set to 72. I'm just going to put it up to 76, and we'll see how long it takes to cool down from 87 to 76. Should operate a lot more efficiently now. So thanks for joining us today on What Yacht to Do aboard the Here's to Us, where we cleaned out and we saw how to clean out the air conditioner strainers, and it's important to do that on a regular basis to keep yourself cool and keep those motors working efficiently. And also the shower sump, which you saw there that the correct installation of it is critical, and clean that out on a regular basis too. So see you next time on What Yacht to Do.